Okay, so we are about to start now. And hello, everyone. Good morning once again, or afternoon, wherever you are. We are very excited to have you today for this amazing panel discussion with this inspiring stories of women in machine learning. And before we begin, I would like to give about a very brief introduction to the women in machine learning. And afterwards, we can begin. So women in machine learning is actually made up of a lot of amazing young women who are having this goal of trying to empower and like foster communication and learning between gender minorities and women who are passionate about machine learning. And basically that is how it started. So we have the Global Women in Machine Learning chapter, which has women from all over the world. But for our chapter, it's just in Accra. So it happened when two of our colleagues actually traveled to Nairobi, Kenya for the deep learning in Dabo. For those of you who are familiar with this, at this meeting, they attended an event that was being organized by the Women in Machine Learning Kenya, which really just inspired them to start up something like this in Ghana. And so far, we've had a lot of amazing events, and we are hoping that if you weren't aware of us before, we are hoping that you can learn something today and actually just pay attention to what we do. So for some of the events we usually have this monthly meetups. Like every month, we have a speaker come to talk about some technical aspects of machine learning. Sometimes these meetups can actually just be Twitter spaces or something. And we also have this panel discussions, which sometimes we do in person and online as well, which are usually just geared towards trending topics in machine learning or like anything that we think would be very useful to beginners and enthusiasts. And finally, we have some in-person events that we've done in the past and are hoping to do more in the future. So just to iterate more on two of the events we've been having, this is like some of the past monthly meetups that we've had. So we've had like an intro into Python, we've had data manipulation, which are all very hands-on. We also had data visualization, essential mathematics, and so on. And you can see that here we had this how to ace your technical interview. This was actually by a worker from Google who came to like share experiences on how we can actually ace our interview, how to apply to Google, how to go through the different interview processes. Yeah. And our recent one was data visualization by one of our colleagues. And finally, today we'll be having this panel discussion on the inspiring stories of some women in machine learning. Yeah, so just to give you a gist of some of the in-person events we've had, this event that we had at first was just recently at the Deep Learning in Daba, where we were invited to the Google Accra office for the launch of the Google Women Research and EMEA program. As part of that program, some of our colleagues also joined this interesting panel discussion with some executives from Google. Then at the Deep Learning in Daba, again, we had this amazing panel discussion, which had members from OpenAI, Tony Blair Institute for Global Change, and so much more. Then afterwards, we went to do some partying. So we had a Barbie-themed cocktail party, which was quite interesting. And here you can see us at the booths at the Deep Learning in Daba, trying to talk about women in machine learning to the people that were around. So this group is actually very diverse. You wouldn't be surprised to find people from different parts of Africa. And this is actually what we are looking at. So we are very happy that you guys are here today. So for future events, we are looking at providing mentorship. So one thing about our group is that we don't have just experts, we have like beginners, enthusiasts, or people who are just actually hearing about machine learning data science for the first time. So we are hoping that we are able to provide mentorship to people at all career stages. We are also planning on actually having hackathons where we can actually try to assess the skills of some of our members and try to pose some challenging real world questions there to see how far they can get with it. And also we are planning to partner with some tech organizations in Ghana so that we can have like very diverse programs. And finally, we are planning to have a chapter conference of all the African WiMLDS chapters, which we are really looking forward to. So without wasting much time, I would like to introduce our moderator, who would then take us from there to sort of introduce the speakers, and then we can move on from there. So our moderator for today is Joana. We are very happy to have you. Joana is an amazing person. We've had her on some of our monthly meetups, and it was really interesting. So we are quite excited that we are privileged to have you today here as well. So Joana is a biomedical engineer graduate, and she's also a data analyst who is also currently pursuing a master's in medical imaging and applications. So these are some amazing women here just from the moderators, and I'll leave it to Joana at this point to introduce our speakers, and then she can take it from there. So I hope to see everyone here. Please stay tuned to the end and ask any questions at the end of the panel discussion.
Hello, everyone. Okay, thank you, Khadija. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm very, very excited to be here today. I don't know if you can tell by how I'm smiling, but I'm very happy. When I was told I was going to moderate this session, I was very happy because, for starters, I like gist. I like to know or hear stories of people, but particularly people that have stayed consistent at a course and are making noticeable strides. I would always want to listen to how they did it, right? So when I heard I was moderating, I just went to stalk all the speakers, and then all I could say was wow, wow, another wow. So today I have my book here that I'm going to be writing so much because they have a lot of experiences under their belts. So maybe I don't want to be the one to introduce these women. I would want to have like a format. So you tell us your name. I know we have Sokhah, we have Salomey, we have Abigail, we have Amina, and then we have Leon. So you would mention your name, tell us one fun fact about you, and then what you do, and then we'll start a conversation from there. So in no particular order, I would want to start with Miss Sokhah. Please, did I get your name right?
Yes, almost like Sokhah.
Sokhah.
Yes.
Okay, so
Thank
please
you.
tell us your name. Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much, Joana. So this is Sokhah Samb from Senegal. I'm an AI researcher, lecturer at Dakar American University of Science and Technology, and also co-organizer of WiMLDS Dakar. So I'm really happy to be here with you and also with these amazing panelists. I am really happy to see also faces that I'm really familiar with, Salomey, Khadija. So this is a great pleasure for me.
Okay, thank you very much, and nice meeting you, Sokhah. We'll get to know you as the conversation progresses. So next on my screen is Miss Salomey. Could you tell us your name, what you do, and one fun fact about you?
All right, thank you so much, Joana, for the opportunity. My name is Salomey. I'm currently in the UK at the University of Cambridge, and I'm doing my PhD in understanding how teaching and learning of AI occurs in primary and secondary schools. And my focus is to look at teachers' motivation and preparedness and how to design an intervention to support them in teaching and learning of AI concepts in primary and secondary schools. I was just thinking, what's the fun fact about me? Maybe I like reading books. I think that could be one, yes. But thank you so much, Joana, for the opportunity. And I'm happy to be part of this panel discussion.
Thank you, Salomey. We are looking forward to the discussion. Next on my screen is Miss Abigail.
Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me. Okay.
Yes, we can.
All right. So my name is Abigail Abeo. I'm from Ghana. I'm a student at the African Masters in Machine Intelligence, Senegal. And I'm really glad to be here. My research interests are in the areas of computer vision, particularly image segmentation, and also health literacy. And one fun fact about me, This is difficult. Let's see. Is it just one? Okay, let me cut it to one. So I think I like watching Chinese series a lot. Yeah, I'm really like a huge fan of Chinese series. I like know all the actors and actresses. I know their names, their ages, like whatever they do. Like I'm always like stalking them. So yeah, that's one fun fact about me. Yeah.
Interesting, interesting. Maybe you could tell us your Chinese name so that we can put everything in context.
Honestly, I'll definitely think about it. I'll definitely tell you before the call ends.
Right, right. So next on my screen is Miss Amina. Amina, could you tell us your name, what you do, and one fun fact about yourself?
Okay, thank you very much, Joanne. Please, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. I can.
Okay. My name is Amina from Ghana, and I'm currently with the Responsible Artificial Intelligence Lab at King UST. And my research interest is in NLP and then IoT. So basically, I'm currently working on accent classification and then accent similarity, where I'm trying to see where to see if there are shared features within intra-native speakers, and then after that, try to classify them based on the existing shared features among these intra-native speakers. And one fun. Okay, I don't really have anything. There's nothing interesting about me. Well, I love to watch cartoons, and I think that's all.
And she likes dancing as well.
Okay. So the next person and the last panelist for today is Miss Elion. So please, Miss Elion, tell us your name, what you do, and one fun fact about yourself.
Okay, good morning, good afternoon. I'm Flovianey Lyon. I come from Congo Brazzaville. I'm currently living in Ghana, and I'm a data science, machine learning enthusiast. I'm currently working as a data engineer at Yazi. So yeah. So one thing about me, I just like partying, like going out to chill, because the work that we do is not always easy. So I give 100% when it comes to work, and I also give the same 100% when it comes to parties. So yeah, that's all about me.
Okay, so the first lesson for today is give 100% when you have to work and give 100% to the parties. So I'm writing that down. So we are going to start the conversation. We are going to start the conversation. And then I think one question on everybody's mind today is how all of you, or each and every one of us, got into like machine learning and data science. So the first question. So the question how you so data your data in learning. Hello. Hello.
Hi, I think we can hear you now.
Okay, so I said everybody's question, or the question on everyone's mind today is how you all got into data science or machine learning, right? So the first question, how did you get into data science? What was the journey like into machine learning? And then the first person, Miss Salomey.
Right, thank you so much for the opportunity. So I would like to give a bit background of my academic journey and how that led into studying or being interested in machine learning and data science. So I did my first degree in economics and mathematics. So those who are familiar with this combination at the University of Ghana. Yeah, so I did that. And within these two, so I did economics and math and a little bit of statistics. Yeah, so I was introduced to data from day one. Yeah. But then I didn't really know much about machine learning. There was no term as machine learning. I only knew about maybe data visualization, econometrics, where we used linear models for forecasting. But nobody mentioned machine learning. So after my first degree, I went to the African Institute for Mathematical Sciences to do an MSc. And that was when people started talking about machine learning, because it wasn't only Ghanaian cohorts. We had other people from other African nations who came to study together with us. We also had researchers from other parts of the world and lecturers from other parts of the world coming to teach. And so whenever I am having an interaction with them, they talk about AI, machine learning, and it sounded so new to me. So we had this block called Machine Learning and Pattern Recognition by Dr. Alessandro Crimi. I think I got his name right. So he introduced us to pattern recognition and machine learning, although the algorithms that he introduced us to wasn't something that I was really familiar with. But the more I read about machine learning, I realized that it's a little bit similar to the forecast models that we're using in our econometrics class. And also the basis, when it comes to data, it was a little bit similar to what I was exposed to in my statistics class. And some of the mathematical equations and arguments and reasoning was also, I was a little bit familiar with it because I was a math student, or I am a math student. So I think all these elements, just came together to just open my eyes to the fact that, machine learning isn't really I wouldn't call it a specialization in codes. I'll call it's more of like a combination of a whole lot of subjects. So that really got me interested to dig deeper and to learn more. And I'm still on the learning journey. Thank you.
Interesting. Thank you, Salomey. Ms. Flovianey, could you tell us how you got into data science and machine learning?
Okay, my journey started last year during my final year project, because I recently graduated from Ghana Telecom. Those who are in Ghana, they know. So I worked on a computer vision based project. So that's where I got into it. So being exposed to AI, machine learning really caught my attention, because being able to to program machines to start behaving like human beings is really amazing. So I know the learning part is still long, but I started this year, and that's where everything started. So yeah. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, did you get what I said earlier?
Yeah, to the point where you said the learning path was long.
Yeah, I'm still learning. Because right now I'm even about to take some machine learning professional course that will start maybe on this Monday. So yeah, that's where the interest came in. So it was during my final year project. So yeah.
Interesting. Then it means you have a lot of tips for beginners that are here, since you already have a job role. Okay. So the next person.
yeah.
Yes. The next person is Miss Amina. How did you get into data science and machine learning?
Well, my journey started, I think that was last 2 years, but I started developing interest in data science back at level 300, where I used to question my lecturers, most of my lecturers, that they are just teaching us raw mathematics, abstract mathematics, but I'm not seeing the impact. Like, I want to feel it. I want to see how they code it on computer. So one of my lecturers, my linear algebra lecturer, was like, then if I want to do data science, then I have to go to AIMS. If I go to AIMS, I'll get the opportunity to learn data science. I was like, okay. I was like, what are some of the things that I have to do in order to get into AIMS? And he was like, it's difficult to actually get AIMS. You need to, the application is so tedious and a whole lot. And I think my final year project, I did something related to data science, even though my project supervisor wasn't really interested in that project. Like, it wasn't really his field. He wanted me to do optimization. I was like, no, I want to do something related to maybe data science with like linear algebra. I want to see how it is. I was like, okay, go and get your topic, write something about it, and then come and present to me. So I was just trying to find my way out. I'll go to him. He'll be like, I don't understand what you are doing. Go to the computer science department and see if they can help you. So I just went to, I think, the HOD, and I was like, okay, I'm working on this project. Can you help me? Then he also directed me to one guy. So I went to him, I explained my project, and he was like, you a math student, why do you want to put yourself into things that you know you can't work on? I was like, okay, then I'll just write something and then present and then walk away and then try to see if I'll get AIMS and go and then start with my machine learning journey. And fortunately on my part, with the help of Deborah, I was able to get AIMS and then I started my journey there. Thank you.
Interesting. So we will definitely come back to you about how you got to know Deborah and mentorship and how you wanted to pull this off. But then the next person is Miss Sokhah. Please tell us how you got into machine learning and data science.
Okay, so myself, my journey in machine learning started also from AMS. Before AMS, I was doing a master in applied mathematics and computer science here in Senegal, with the specialization in statistics and probability, which was really something I liked. And because of one of my lecturer who was really good, and then I loved the way he mastered the field and the way he was teaching it. And I said myself, okay, this is what I want to do. And I started doing my statistics stuff and everything. And the same lecturer who was also my supervisor in master, he wanted me to go for a PhD with him. But I really didn't want to do pure mathematics or pure statistics. I really wanted to do something that is applied. And one of my friend who went to AMS earlier, he went to AMS and doing the co-op master. For those who are AMS, they know what the co-op master mean, which was more like big data stuff and computer security or finance, if you want to do finance. And he was like, okay, Sokhah, this is for you. You need to come to AMS. And then he started helping me going through the application, and I got accepted to AMS. I did the master co-op in AMS Senegal. I started working with companies, but people used to tell me that I like study, I like going to school. When I saw the AMI program, I applied for it, and then I got it. And I was in Ghana. I was in Ghana for 1 year for the African Master of Machine Intelligence. So by the way, Deborah and I was at Senegal first, and then also at AMI. And yeah, I did the AMI program, and everything started. And right now I'm more like doing stuff related to NLP. Yeah, so this is how my story with machine learning started. And we are all still learning because it will never end. This is a very large field where things are going very fast. So we are still learning. Yeah.
Great. So we are all still learning because this is a vast field. That's also something to note. So for Abigail, I particularly reserved you for the last because of my interest. I'm sorry. But anybody that's interested in health and in medicine is also interested in how AI and machine learning can be incorporated into the health industry. So you mentioned you're a health enthusiast with your machine learning and data science background. So could you tell us how you got into machine learning and data science and how you are dabbling in these concepts with health?
All right. Thank you for your question. Okay. So how did I get into machine learning? My journey started in my final year of university at the University of Ghana. So during third year, at the end of third year, you have to like think of what you'll be working on. And I was a mathematics major student and a computer science minor student. So you definitely have to work on a project as a major student. So I went to my lecturer at that time, Dr. Shringa, and he took me in a course called computational mathematics. I had actually taken like 3 levels of this course. So for me, my mind was like, okay, I've taken computational mathematics. I think I like it. It's not I think, I actually like it. So let me go and discuss with him and see, what kind of project I can get to do. So I went to him and he said, have you heard of machine learning before? I looked at him, I was like, huh? No. And then he was like, have you heard of support vector machines? I was like, God, you're confusing me. And I was like, no. So he was like, okay, this is what I need you to do. When you go over the vacation and before you come back for your final year, read about these things, okay? And then we'll talk. So I went for vacation, and to be honest, it was difficult. I didn't understand like what it was. It was so new. I hadn't like heard of it before. But well, I did read a little that I could do. And when we went back to school, he introduced me to another supervisor who had just arrived, joined the university, called Dr. Augustine Lawe Mahu. And so I ended up working with Dr. Lawe, and he took me through machine learning. He gave me like resources to read about it. And in the end, I was able to work on a project that uses an algorithm called support vector machines. And we worked on medical data and images. But I mean, the data had already been pre-processed for me, so I didn't really work with the images, but I worked with the numbers. And so I worked on predicting if a patient has autism or not. So that was how I got into machine learning. And about the subsequent questions you asked, how is machine learning being employed in health? Machine learning is being used a lot in health. Firstly, it's being used for disease identification and diagnosis. So hospitals collect a lot of data from the patients, and this data can be used to, understand and identify diseases. How can they do that? You take X-rays, you take MRI scans, you take CT scans. Now the doctor has to look at the scans, to see what kind of disease you have, or if you don't have a disease or not. But we can use machine learning to make this simpler, whereby, instead of the doctor having to look at it, you have a model that does this work. And, there's a lot of work going on in that area because health is very sensitive, but that's just like one aspect that you can use machine learning for health. Another aspect you can also use machine learning for health is in monitoring disease progression. So this was one project I did in my master's at AIMS, whereby there's this disease called COPD. Now this disease, it gets worse as you go on and on. Like there's no cure, it just gets worse. So that's like disease progression. That's what disease progression means. But then you can use machine learning to identify like the high risk patients. Okay, so if you identify the high risk patients, you can then focus more resources and more attention on such people. And so that's also another like area that machine learning can be used. So yeah, I mean, yeah, these are basically some few ideas of how machine learning can be used in health. Joana, I hope I answered all your questions.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. Thank you. Cool stuff. So it's very interesting that every single one of us that shared our story has somebody telling them one thing or the other, and that is what made them conscious of machine learning and data science. So people want to know, how long did it take you to get here? So do you consider yourself as a senior data scientist or an intermediate? And people want to know how long it took you to get there, right? So since Flovianey has like a role as a data engineer, maybe you could help us. How long did it take you to get to this level? And then how long did it take you to have somebody wanting to pay you for the skills you had learned?
Okay. Okay, it took me up to almost a year now, because I mean everything started last year, December, during my final year project. So I went to I took some online courses, did some self-learning, and wow, it takes a lot. I'm still learning because I can't identify myself as a senior machine learning engineer. No, I'm just an intermediate. So it took me up to a year to get there. So yeah, so I'm even currently working on the project there. So I've been working there for 5 months. So yeah, so it takes long. It takes a really long, and it's up to your determination and how fast you learn certain things. Because when you are on the field, or let's say on the work environment, like it comes with pressure and a lot of things. So yeah, so it took me a year to get there. So I consider myself as an intermediate machine learning enthusiast.
Right.
Yeah.
So within that 1 year, could you tell us 2 or 3 things you did that you think helped you get the role you're currently in?
Okay, first step was I got into data analysis, because we all know that machine learning, we start from data. I have to understand the concept of data and how to clean the data, and then how to use those data to make predictions in the future. So I started by taking some Google online courses about data analysis, and let's say 6 months after, that's when I got the job. So yeah, so that's it.
Okay, cool stuff.
So data analysis. So inside the data analysis module, so you learn the concept about data, how to use the certain tools, like when it comes to technical skills like SQL, Python, and other stuff, and let's say Excel. So yeah.
Interesting. So you just need Excel, try and get your way around what data is, how to manipulate data, and you're well on your
You
way.
also have to get understand the foundation, like some mathematics foundation, if I can say it that way. Because when we work with Excel, we go through a lot of formulas, and also understand the concept of programming, because you'll be manipulating data, because there will be some tasks that you need, let's say, programming skills. So that's Python. And also you have to develop a critical thinking, like thinking outside of the box, because when we deal with data, we are the goal is to solve a specific problem. You see, so you have to develop that way of thinking outside of the box to find patterns inside the data set that you are manipulating. So the skills that I'll mention here, or that I'll advise for those who want to enter into machine learning. So learn about data, like how to understand the concept, how to clean them, how to fetch data, how to manipulate, improve your communication skills, your programming skills, your mathematics skills, the presentation, and yeah, that's it.
Cool. That's very exhaustive. Thank you. But
Yeah,
thank you. Thank you. To the rest of the panel, do we need to have masters or PhD in data science and machine learning before we can feel like data scientists? Do we need to go to AIMS before? So how important is it to have maybe a master's or a PhD in data science and machine learning? Miss Abigail, what do you think? Do we need it?
To be honest, it depends. It really depends. If you want to do research, right? If you want to do research, PhD, I mean, definitely, because PhD is about research. But there are also like people who have just masters, but also doing like research. I know of some people like that. Masters, if you don't want to go into research, a master's is not bad in the sense that, you know, it exposes you to like higher things. I mean, I've really been exposed to like a lot of things in my master's level. And if I hadn't like gone for a master's, then I would have gone like for the route of taking online courses, because you definitely like need to grow. So it can be through the master's, it can be through like the PhD. It really depends. But what I would really say is very, very important is having a portfolio, because you can have a master's in data science or AI, but you don't have anything to show for it, then it doesn't really like help. You can have a PhD and you don't have a portfolio to show. So whether it's a master's you want to go, if you get the opportunity, please do it. Like, and especially if it's fully funded, go for it, because it will really expose you. But if you don't have a master's, like Flovianey said, take online courses, you get certificates, but alongside, for me, the portfolio is very important. So yeah, that's my answer to the question. It depends.
Okay, so we'll come back to you about the portfolio and what to put on your portfolio. But before that, Miss Salomey, do you think we need to get a PhD or a master's degree to feel like data scientists or to work as data scientists?
I think I would agree with Abigail's answer that it really depends. It depends on the goal. It depends on where you want to be in the field. I wouldn't say you really need a master's degree or PhD to become a data scientist. You can even sit at home and take online courses and I mean work on practical tasks and still become a data scientist. Yeah, but then as Abigail said, it's also good to meet other people, you know, people who are a little bit higher than you, and to learn from them, because you may not be able to learn everything through online courses, but then you could, sorry, let me come again with my thoughts. Let me gather them. So there are certain things that online courses offers that sitting in a classroom does not offer. There are certain things that sitting in a classroom offers or online wait, why am I confusing myself? So essentially what I mean is that if you get the opportunity to do a master's or PhD, go for it. But if you do not get that opportunity, there are other routes that can take you to becoming maybe a senior data scientist in the future. Yeah.
Great. Miss Sokhah, what do you think?
Yes, I think the first thing should be like to make the difference between data science and AI or machine learning. So if it's just only to become a data scientist, maybe you don't need to have a PhD, because companies, what they're looking for is just someone who can, you know, give them result. They don't really care about how you get the result. That's not really something they need. They are not really interested on the, let's say, the degree you have, but they want to really see what you can bring for them. This is what they're looking for. And this, you don't need to have a PhD for it. Maybe a master should be something very good, because for beginners, mostly what you need to start in the field of data science is maybe, let's say, some statistic knowledge, statistic probability, linear algebra, and then optimization, let's say calculus. And this, you can get it from maybe, I think, the second year of university. I know in Senegal, and I think it's similar to Ghana. And then if you have this knowledge, the only thing you need is a little bit of experience doing some projects in the field of data science. This can be self-learning. You can get this from self-learning by, you know, going through some repositories, trying stuff, and then make sure that, like Salomey said, having that portfolio. So make sure that what you're doing, you can show that this is what I know to do. And to get to a company, you will not need to have a PhD. But then now, if you want to do advanced AI let's say, machine learning and want to go for a research field, you may need to have a PhD. A PhD is something that will be really helpful for you because it helps you to have more knowledge in some advanced mathematics. And this will really be helpful. And it will help you also to be special, let's say, to be, let's say, how do I say it? Specialized in a field, in a specific field, because as I said at the beginning, AI is very large, and then yes, maybe sometimes we need to narrow down and then focus on a specific field, and this a PhD will help you on that.
Right. Thank you very much. So to get your foot through the door, you don't need a master's or a PhD, but depending on how you want to dabble in the field, then you could think of going to get an MS or a PhD. So amongst the panelists, what do you think, R or Python for data science and machine learning, and why do you prefer that? So Amina, do you prefer R or Python, and then why?
Well, I prefer Python. So,
Why?
well, I prefer Python because it's easy for me. Like for me especially, like I can easily navigate and then easily get what I want. But for R, because I'm not really coming from that of statistics background, I'm really finding it difficult to really adjust with R. But in all, they are all good packages and they're all good data science packages for our work. And also what Python can do now, we have some libraries that you can also install in R for it to give you the same results as in Python. But I'm kind of more comfortable with Python. Probably it's the exposure that I got. Maybe that's why. But I'm really okay with Python.
Okay. Flovianey, R or Python?
Okay, but I think Python, like I always recommend Python because I think it's the easiest and the most popular. Especially, okay, for those who want to get into AI, I think Python is the best language to take along your career path. So yeah, Python for me.
Okay. Salomey, R or Python?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. So I was exposed to Python at the University of Ghana and also at Ames. And when I went to Germany, we were doing everything in Python because of how easy the language was. And yeah, there were lots of libraries, that was really helpful for doing data science and machine learning in Python. However, when I got to Cambridge, I took a course with bioinformatics students. And because they are more of like biologists, they were using R. And also surprised how this was very, very easy. Like, so straightforward. Using R for machine learning, using R for like image recognition and all that. So I was like, wait, why didn't I even start with R in the beginning? So it really depends on the field. It depends on the field. I know that R was specifically built by a biologist. So they have libraries that really support biological science research. So it really depends on what you're studying and also what you're comfortable with. But looking at R and Python, I would say both is okay. Yeah.
Okay. So you're in the middle. Miss Abigail,
Yeah.
for health and for health and what you do, R or Python, and why?
Wow. When I was going to say Python, but when you said health and then what Salome just said, okay. So since it's a personal choice, Python. Why? Because it's what I was introduced to. I did Python for like 1.5, no, let's say 3 semesters before working on my ML project. So yeah, that's what I'm comfortable with. But yeah, I've seen like people use R for like very interesting things in machine learning, which was actually quite surprising for me. Yeah, very, very surprising. But I would go for Python always.
Okay. Miss Sokhah, what do you think? R or Python?
Yes, definitely Python. I actually started with R as a statistics, and it's actually a very amazing also programming language that I loved, especially when you do statistics. So it really depends on the field that you're doing, but myself, I prefer Python because it's been a while. I didn't even use R. I'm left behind. I don't even know what are the last packages for machine learning in R. But now, Python is very popular. And since many people are using it in the field of data science, it's getting always you discover new packages, new stuff, that are really amazing. So I prefer going for Python.
Okay, Python 5, R 1.5. Okay, so for the next point, we realize that.
Joanna,
Uh-huh.
just to make it 2, not 1.5. A friend of
Okay.
mine just finished her PhD, and
Okay.
she's been like employed in a UK public sector whatever department, and then they required that she studied R before joining the team. It's a data scientist, working for for the public sector. So I mean, you should learn R as well. Thank you.
Okay, 2.5 for R, 5 for Python. So definitely we realize that it's not easy doing machine learning and data science. I mean, you all say you're still learning. Does it ever end? But then whilst you were starting and even till this point, are there peculiar challenges you experience, and then how are you able to overcome this challenge? I'm expecting to hear imposter syndrome. I don't know, but yes. Abigail, are there any challenges that you've encountered throughout your learning process?
I was hoping not to be the first person to be called. Okay. So
I could go around and come back.
no, it's okay. It's okay. Okay. So okay. I think the very first challenge for me was having resources. And when I say resources, I don't mean materials for studying, but I mean physical materials like having access to a laptop, having internet access, because you need to study, you need to follow these online courses, you need to read. Yeah, I think I had that challenge for me when when I started. How did I overcome it? By praying and getting a laptop. Yes, that's the only way. Or applying for like there are like scholarships that you can apply to that would like give you a laptop, but those are quite very, very rare. So yeah, honestly, that was a challenge for me. So I really have to say it. And secondly, yeah, imposter syndrome. Yes, I mean, I still face it always. I always face it. And, wondering, are you good enough? Are you doing this enough? Are you up to tax enough? Come on, like, there's a lot going on. What am I also like doing, contributing? And how do I overcome that? Honestly, okay, so this advice I've given it to myself. I think it's good that I'm reminding myself again. So for me, it's about like looking back at my personal journey, looking back at the challenges I've been through, looking back at, what I know now and what I didn't know back then. So, okay, I didn't know this, but even though it took long, or it's taking time, like at least I know it now. And so that's really what encourages me to like, overcome this imposter syndrome. And also having like some achievements that I've gotten, and then I'm like, oh, so really this was me, the person that thought wasn't capable enough, like this is me now. So yeah, I mean that's like, these are some of the things that encourages me as a woman. Yeah.
Cool stuff. So yeah, just keep track of all you're going through. If it gets difficult, look back and see how far you've come. Amina, do you have any challenges you're experiencing or you experienced while starting, and how did you overcome it?
Okay. To me, I would say that my first challenge was my undergrad project, where I was trying to actually work on data science and data science related topic, where my supervisor wasn't really interested in what I was doing, and I have to look for people to help me. And then after the help, I have to go back to him to explain to him this and that and that. And even I think part of the work, I tried to get the mathematics behind, let's say, what I wanted to do. Initially, I was even doing PCA, image reduction, and I didn't even know that was like something related to like data science or anything. I was just working on my own. So I didn't know until I got to Ames, and then they started teaching us image reduction and then PCA. I was like, oh wow, I did this thing. But like, I didn't know it was part of data science. And my project supervisor wasn't really like, because he wasn't really interested, there was no motivation, nothing. I have to go and even the programming part, I didn't really know much about programming. The only programming language I did at UDS was just MATLAB and then QBasic. So I have to go and look for someone who was good in Python to really code the mathematics that I've developed into programming language. And then I have to go back to my project supervisor and then explain it to him. So like after getting to Ames and then I saw all this, I was like, wow, then if that's the case, then I think I can do this. I think I can do this. So if I was able to without anyone helping and then without my project supervising, supporting, then I think I should be good to do this. And also my other challenge was my second project. That was, after MS, you have to work on a project and stuff. So I reached out to one of our lecturers was actually looking for a student to work with at France. So my tutor actually recommended me to her, and then she looked at me and she was like, nah, I can't do it. She was like, no, she needed a smart person to actually work on this project. I was like, really? So I went in for a different project altogether. I have no knowledge on, like it was totally different from what I know and stuff. And then I have to learn from scratch. But with the help of my project supervisor, I was able to come up with better solution. And we even won award for that project. So basically, that is some of the challenges and how we overcome them. Thank you.
Interesting. I think I need to write a book on your journey into data science. Ms. Sokhah, are there any peculiar challenges you faced, and then how did you overcome them?
Yeah, so I think one of the main challenge I had was when I have to choose between keeping working for company or going for more study in the field of AI. So when I got accepted for the AMI program, I was already working in a company and everyone was telling me, that's enough, you're working, everyone is looking for a job, you have a job, why do you want to leave your job and go for more study? But I was like, I really need to learn more about this field. And this was like a lot of stuff. I even canceled my AMI program. I was like, I'm not coming anymore. I wrote to them saying, okay, I'm sorry, but I'm not coming. And I stayed 2 days thinking about it. Why do I have to cancel what I like to do? Because people are just saying that I don't need to go for it. As a woman is enough now. So 2 days after, I write again saying them, oh, I'm coming. I'm coming, sorry, but I'm coming. And I think I was one of the last person who came for the AMI program in Ghana. And yes, how I overcome to this is just by choosing what I like to do. It's always a matter of what you like to do because, what we're doing is, it can be tough sometimes. So if you really don't enjoy it, it can be very difficult for you. So always choose what you like to do. you know, what you like to do is the best thing. And then there you will really enjoy your work, you will enjoy your research, and it's very important for you.
Interesting. You need to enjoy what you are doing to keep going. Ms. Flovianey, what do you have to say? Have you had any challenges? How did you overcome them?
As for me, I had a lot of challenges because I can even write a book. Because okay, where do I start? Okay, first of all, I have a French background, like coming from a French country and everything. So sometimes when you are learning, you feel like the English is no more in your brain, like you're not getting whatever is going on. So the first challenge I had, that was doing my final year project. So I was so much into the project that I told my class, my colleagues, that I wanted to do it alone. Like it was easy to say it out loud, but deep inside of me, I was scared because when you're not done with your final year project, you can't graduate, and especially in our field, apart from the documentation side that you are writing, you need to show a prototype. So that was, I have to build a complete system and everything. And then when you go online, like there's, let's say, a bunch of resources, you don't even know where to put yourself, like which one to choose, which one is best. So you end up doing some tries and error by going back and forth. And when you get the pressure, like you see that the time is also going, so you have to hurry up. And like a lot of pressure, because it's not everything that they teach you at the university, because computer vision, using those electronic components like Raspberry Pi and even Python, I didn't learn those things from the university. So I learned them like from my own. So it was really a lot to to get and like learn everything within a small amount of like at a time, because the pressure is coming from the university. You have to submit everything. So it was really a lot. And I overcame everything. I was praying because I was really stressed, because sometimes when I was coding and I realized I was going through errors, I just tell myself, nah, I just give up. And later on, I tell myself, you look at yourself when you started, because I remember at my first year at university, one day I went to the TA's office, that like teaching assistant office. I told them that I don't get anything that is going to the class. I'm completely lost. And I just looked at myself at that time and where I was, like where I am actually. I said, oh, nah, you can do it. Just keep it up. Just keep pushing hard. And also I was asking for help, like for those people, like from people that were familiar with the programming concepts, like say Python and computer vision. I was asking her when I'm not getting, because you can't do everything on your own. So when you need help, you have to go for it. So that's how I overcame it. So self-motivation and help from, people, for mentors and everything. So yeah, that's it.
Interesting. Motivate yourself. Once in a while, just hit yourself on the back. You're doing well. Keep doing it. Salome, have you had
Because I
any
also
petty?
remember, oh, sorry.
Oh no, you could go on.
Okay, I remember sometimes I was crying in my room, like I was really crying. And after I'm done crying, I said to myself, okay, you are done. Now go back to work, because you can't run away from me. So yeah. So that's a little bit about me.
Thank you. Thank you. Salome, have you had any peculiar challenges?
Yeah, I think I share what's the right word? So I share similar sentiments, right? These challenges could be personal. For instance, you may have that feeling that, oh, you cannot do it, you're not confident enough, or you're not competent enough to do the work. And I think it could be as a result of our culture and how we're raised up, even in school. Because I'm into education, and I've read a lot of literature about education, and I just realized that within I wouldn't say the African context, because the African context is quite huge, but within the Ghanaian context, or even the schools that I attended and the teachers that I had, I realized that they didn't really put much confidence into us, right? Some ended up telling us things that, I mean, has affected us in some way or has shaped our lives negatively in some way. In the sense that when a child is not able to do something in school, instead of the teacher telling the child that you can do it, but not yet, right? The teacher just brings maybe some sort of insult and tell the child that, oh, you're not good enough, you cannot get anywhere, you know. So that sort of like thought, for me personally, had a way of, it had, because it's in the past. So it had a way of limiting how I thought, right? Because I first see limitations before, or I first saw limitations before seeing opportunities. And I think that has really limited my speed in this whole like machine learning, data science journey. Because sometimes you want to do something, but what comes to mind first is that you're not competent enough to do it, you know, or you cannot really get there because perhaps you're a slow learner. Yeah, but when I started traveling around, I got to realize that you don't have to have everything to dream big. It comes with time. Okay, so those with the laptop issue, I've been there before. Those with the error message issues, I've been there before. Those with the mentor who does not really believe in you issue, like, is it Amina? I mean, I really feel you. I really feel, my heart goes to you. It's really painful when somebody you look up to rejects you, maybe based on perhaps your competence. But I would say that we have to learn to know that it's a journey. And some of these limitations are going to fall off. You know, this whole laptop thing takes time. Maybe in the next like 2 years, you can be able to buy so many laptops. So you shouldn't allow these challenges to hinder you from making progress. That's a little thing I could add. Thank you.
Interesting. I think you said something that I caught my attention. The fact that you saw your limitations before your opportunities because of the kind of psyche you had. And I think it's important you sort out your thoughts whenever you have a problem and then you're overwhelmed with it. Right. So you all talk about mentorship. This person said this person said that. How do you consciously create a network of people that's got you to this point with regards to mentorship? So is there a conscious effort you had to put into with regards to the kind of network you had around you? And then I think I would want to listen from Ms. Sokhah first. Ms. Sokhah, what do you think? How did you consciously go about networking and building professional connections?
Yes, so myself, what I started doing was when I got interested on the field of machine learning, I went to LinkedIn and I was adding everyone who is doing machine learning or data science. I was just adding them on my, and I started, looking at what people are doing. And then, and I realized that some people are really doing some advanced things. And I wasn't hesitating to reach out to someone to say, oh, I saw what you're doing. This is really interesting and I like it. I said, okay, this is what I want to do and this and this. Sometimes they tells you, okay, let's have a chat. And then you organize a meet with them. Talk to them what you want to do, what they are doing. You get some advices from them. And then also you get to know more what they're doing. So this is what I really was doing. And it helps me a lot because I had some challenges choosing what I wanted to do because everything was interesting to me. I started with doing some stuff related to cancer detection, which was more like computer vision and, healthcare. And then I was also interested in doing NLP, especially for low resources like African languages. And then there, I needed really to look for what I wanted to do. And this came from, talking to people, networking on social media. So most of my networks, it was on social media, talking to people, knowing what they're doing and what are the opportunity in each of these fields for me to know really what I want to focus on. So this is what I didn't really have a mentor who really was someone I know, but all of the people I was talking to, I meet them. I meet them from social media.
Interesting. LinkedIn 101. Go and follow and then connect with everyone that does what you're interested in. Amina, how did you navigate building professional connections?
So my first network was actually my linear algebra lecturer, who I was just constantly disturbing that said, please, I just want to learn data science. I want to learn data science. And he was the one really pushing me that, okay, then you have to go and learn. You have to go to AIMS or look for a school that they are really teaching data science. Or I can also go on LinkedIn and then create a profile of myself and then what I'm into. Maybe people might reach out to me and then give me extra advices and then stuff. I was like, okay. I was even asking what is LinkedIn. I said, just go and type. It will come. Create. I was like, okay. So I went in there and then I created. And I think one man, he's from Ghana. He's into this monitoring and then evaluation stuffs. So he reached out to me and he was like, I should give my number to him. So I gave my number to him and he was like, he saw my profile and then the things I'm interested in. He also advised me to go into data science. And I was like, yeah, I'm also interested in data science. So what are some of the things that I can do? And he was advising me that I can start learning SQL, Excel, and then Power BI to be good in it. Maybe after school, during my NSS, I can just get myself a private company related to data science and then start working on. And then I think that was it. So I started it from there. And then I think with some of my colleagues at AIMS. So actually I got mathematical science that is only regular. But I was much interested in the data science. I didn't want to do like abstract mathematics again. So I was just forcing it. I was like, no, I don't want to do mathematics, pure maths again. So I was talking to some of my colleagues, and they had 2 masters, 3 masters. Actually, those coming from the French countries and stuff. So they really know, like, they were much into this machine learning and things. So every day I was just disturbing them. Okay, what do I have to do? And some of them were like, since I'm into the regular, maybe I can speak to the tutors. If you are having this big data section, probably I can join into the machine learning and then data and deep learning things. I was like, okay, if that's the case. So in which we didn't have any academic director. So it's like, unfortunately for us, immediately you are done with your regular courses, then the machine learning courses and other courses are starting. So we had that opportunity. And I think I wasn't really the only one who was actually interested in this. There were a lot of people interested in it. So immediately, like after our mass courses, then we joined the other team for their machine learning courses and stuffs. And we're also taking part in their project assignments and a whole lot. So like some of my colleagues were really guiding me, okay, you can work on this, you can work on that. I think it will open more ways and stuff. And fortunately for us, when we're done, we had certificate for the data science part too, with addition to that of the mathematical science regular. So that's it.
Interesting. 2 more for LinkedIn. Flovianey, how did you go about building professional network and connections?
Okay. For me, it started from my mentor because Mr. Theophilus. I remember because before I was into web development, like developing websites, web applications, and everything. And every time he was disturbing me, like get into data science, machine, I get into it. I was stubborn. I wasn't listening to him until I started working on my final year project. So this year, let's say my goal, since I was like I wanted to enter into machine learning and data science, I went on LinkedIn once again. So I started following those who have backgrounds like data analysis, machine learning, data science, and also check like get to learn about their skills, like what they show, like learn SQL, Python, and everything. That's where when I see that, I go straight online to take some online courses to learn those skills, because I was looking for a job as a data analyst first. So when I go there, I see the skills that those on LinkedIn, those skills that they have, and I go like for myself and like to learn all those things, and then come back, apply for jobs, and yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Interesting. Miss Abigail.
Yeah, so for me, mentorship. I think my first mentors have always been my supervisor. My supervisor and Dr. Shringa. So my supervisor is Dr. Lawe, and then there's Dr. Shringa. So these two like have been, they gave me like a basic or fundamental background, and they've really been very good mentors to me. And then also, so I call these three the power ladies. So there's Deborah, there's Deborah Kanubala, she's on the call. There's Salomey Osei. There's also a lady called Betty. So I remember when I was in my service also, I used to be a huge fan of Facebook. So I don't know how come I got to follow Deborah. And I would always like stalk her. So this is like a confession. Like honestly, like I would stalk her, see the conference, like when she posts, she used to have like a YouTube channel where she was giving an intro to machine learning. So like I would stalk her, read about it. Okay, so she went for this conference. Okay, go and read about it. Like I was actually stalking her life on Facebook. So I finally got the opportunity to like talk to her through someone who gave me her contact, and and I remember when I was going to do my master's in Cameroon, I didn't want to go to Cameroon because I just didn't want Cameroon. And she was like, oh, I know Salome went to Cameroon, let me link you. So you see, that's how it's began, like in terms of linking. And then also I also got to Betin also. And so like these three have been like another set of mentors when it comes to the gender female. Now, another place I also network is LinkedIn. Everybody has said LinkedIn. Yeah, like LinkedIn. And I can't stress on it that much. Like it's been very like important to me. I've met like many people through LinkedIn that I wouldn't have met like without it. So yeah, that's also another place.
Interesting. Go find mentors, look for them, usually through LinkedIn from what we've been hearing. And then also put yourself out there, because the more people know what you're doing, the more you get to see the people that are interested in the kind of things you're doing. Sarah, Salome, please, what do you have to say?
Wow, not much really. I think everybody has said. Yeah, so LinkedIn, that's for sure. And I also think your teachers. So somebody like Claire David, I don't know whether you guys know her, but then she's a very kind lady. She is into physics, but then she came to teach us Python and how to use Python to analyze this whole atom data related to atoms. And yeah, I really like that. She has really been a support even till date. She contacts me, asks me how I'm doing, my progress, and tries to encourage me. And she's always presenting about me, telling my stories everywhere because she saw how I began this whole journey. So I think, yeah, having people who have your back is really important, and putting yourself out there, talking to people, asking questions is also a good practice. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So, Ms. Sokhah, particularly because you are a community builder, looking at how you started, how maybe people have been helpful throughout your journey, how do you do it, trying to create an inclusive environment where people are people feel safe and happy to just come to you and talk to you about learning machine learning and data science? How can, as a community, create that atmosphere for more learners with data science and machine learning?
Yeah, I think the first thing I will say is, first of all, just saying thank you to WiMLDS Accra for this. I think this is one of the first thing maybe a community should do right now in the field of machine learning is by showing some role models, if I can call it like that, because most of the women who are in Africa, they really want to do mathematics. They want to do, let's say, science in general. They want to do machine learning, but they are facing a lot of issues that make them, lose some confidence. They feel like they cannot do it. I think you hear about all the story that people share here, and this is what is happening to our sisters also. And they need to see this kind of story to know that, okay, some people went through the same problems, and then today they overcome all these challenges to become who they are right now. Then I can do it. So I used to tell them that you need to listen to people's story. You always learn about it. So I think this is something definitely we WiMLDS communities in Africa need to organize, talk to them more, and then show them that some people went through the same problem that you're going through, and then they overcome all these challenges. And also like organizing this training. Training is really important. Some of them, they need some, basic skills, and this is something that I'm facing as a lecturer at university. Sometimes you see that they have some basic skills that they need. And then you need to give them the opportunity to learn these skills. And then sometimes they cannot learn it from school because it's sometimes maybe a bit late to learn it from university because it's something that you were supposed to know before. Then people are not coming back to that. So you need to self-learn it. And then I think it's important for us communities that we give them this opportunity to learn some skills like you are already doing at WiMLDS Accra. Yeah, I think, this is something I wanted to tell about this.
Yes, I think a lot of us can relate to the fact that just by knowing that maybe Deborah is doing this, just by knowing that Sida is doing that, it puts it at the back of your mind that you can actually also try and see if you can do it, or you can do it. So I think that is very important, showing the role models and letting people know that these women are doing these things, and then you can also try and do it, and the training as well. Does anyone? Okay, Salome has something to say.
Yeah, just a quick one. So what Sokhah just said reminded me of a theory I used for my first study for my PhD, which is called the self-efficacy theory. So I'm going to immerse you guys like briefly into this theory, but it says that for somebody to build confidence in their competence, they need three things. They need inactive mastery, in that they need the experience of working on that task. They need an example. Okay, so they need to see somebody like really doing that that particular thing for them to really get inspired that they can also do it. So these two elements, I can see that at play at this communities like WIMLDS, yes, in that you do not actually, it's not just a community where people only share their stories, but then it's a community where people look up to others, and it also gives the opportunity for people to have this hands-on practice, on some concepts in machine learning, which I think if people are able to devote themselves to these routines, I wouldn't be surprised that these communities will be able to raise strong women in the field of data science. So that's what I want to say, that theory backs what Sokhah just said.
Okay, so could you like tell us again the title of the principle? Because I didn't catch that when I was writing it.
It's called the self-efficacy theory.
Self-efficacy, right? Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. So, this question is to everyone. Is there one thing, one project that you worked on that you felt like, yes, you're a data scientist, you're a machine learning person? Is that one project that helped you appreciate your field, and what was it? Amina.
Yeah. My first project in AIMS, which was on data transmission reduction in IoT wireless sensor network. So actually, I didn't have any knowledge on IoT devices. But with the help of my project supervisor, Dr. Aruna, who really pushed me and was like, I can do it. And then with a colleague of a friend of mine, I think a friend of DJ too, Alasan, who also helped me in coming up with good results for that project. I can't really say I'm okay now, I'm a data scientist, I'm perfect. No, but with the help of with just working on that particular project, I believe I can take in any project by pushing myself in. Thank you.
Whoa, Flovianey.
Okay, as I said earlier, I worked on a computer vision based project. That's the one project. Whenever I feel like I want to give up about a new project that I'm working on, I just look at that project and I say, nah, just keep it going, like just keep it up. So the project was, as I said, a computer vision based project. So the goal was to track the ins and outs of vehicles at my campus, that Ghana Telecom. So I used like it was a bunch of IoT and AI. So I used some components like Raspberry Pi camera, etc. So the goal was that the camera was capturing the image of the vehicles at the entrance or exit of the campus, then process the image and just take the number plate of the vehicle and like convert, let's say, an image to a specific string. So, and then send it to a default database that I was having. And then the system was able to check whether the number plate that was entry into our default database was already in. So if it's in, then it takes the related information to that number plate, whether the car coming in belongs to a lecturer, a student, or a new, let's say, just a visitor. So if it's just a visitor, someone that we don't have the details in our default database, the system was prompting the driver to scan either the driver's license card or the national ID card and stored everything to the database with the time and the date. So the same procedure was going on like when the car was ready to move out or from the campus. So the goal was to, let's say, to improve the security side of the campus. So that's the one masterpiece I always brag along. So yeah.
Interesting. Salome.
Yeah. Wow. So I think I didn't mention this, but then at AIMS for my final year, for my master's thesis, I worked on a natural language processing task or project, yes. So I had no experience at all with natural language processing. So the only data that I knew was structured data, right? Because I did some economics back in school. So I was blown away by the fact that people can analyze text data to perform meaningful tasks. So what I looked at was reviewing, extracting reviews, keywords extracting keywords from Amazon reviews online. So I decided to take the task on, and my supervisor was Axel Nguka. Professor Axel Nguka from in Germany. So I've never met Axel before, and he was supposed to supervise my work, and I have never done anything NLP. So it was difficult, honestly. Like it was really difficult, but it was a difficult one. But I also enjoyed the whole experience because at the end of the day, I was able to extract keywords from people's reviews when they buy stuff from Amazon. And so it gave me that sense of satisfaction that I may not be familiar with the field, but then if I make up my mind that I'm going to do it, I could actually achieve it. So that was a very sweet experience of mine when it comes to machine learning.
Interesting. Miss Sokhah.
Yes, I think one of the project I really liked was, I think it was the first project, the real life first project on machine learning that I worked on, which was about automatic check bank processing and the credit scoring. So this was more like, the first one was more like computer vision and NLP at the same time. And then because it was handwriting recognition, and the second one was machine learning, and it was for the same company. And the reason why I like this project is that before just I arrived, my boss go to the bank and tell them, we have an application that allow you to process your check automatically, but we didn't even started the project. So he came and put a lot of pressure on me. I need to really finalize this because we already tell to the bank that we have the project done. This was like, so whenever I wake up, they were asking me, what is the accuracy? So everyone was calling me accuracy in them. They were calling me accuracy in the company because my boss is always asking for accuracy. What is the accuracy? The only thing he needs to know is what is the accuracy. He doesn't really care about how I came to that. So that was very stressing for me. And I was happy that finally I did something that was, integrated in an application that banks are using for credit scoring and, automatic check processing. And I was, at the end, was really proud of myself that I did this. But after that, I left to the company because I don't want to go for travel. So that was really something that I liked. Yeah.
Interesting. Accuracy. Okay. Abigail, what's that one project that made you feel like a machine learning person or a data scientist?
Please let me finish laughing. Accuracy. Oh my God, this is funny. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so yeah, that one project. What was it again? Yeah, it was my undergraduate, it was my undergraduate project. Okay. And I've gone into details about it at the beginning, so I wouldn't want to go into details of what it was about. But for me, I remember on the day of my thesis defense, after like I presented, the lecturers were like, wow, this is amazing. I mean, like, doing something in machine learning, which is quite a new field. I mean, which was a new field as at that time. And I think I was the only one who did something in machine learning. And so even like my colleagues were like, wow, I think I need to like learn more about this, get into it. So, it made me feel very proud, like very, very proud of myself. And then secondly, still on the same project, I remember when I was in Cameroon for my master's, there was this conference that I saw that was accepting posters and abstracts or papers. And I spoke to my mentor. I had a mentor also then, Rockefeller. And I was like, okay, I want to like submit my poster to this conference. And let me quickly give a shout out to my supervisor again for this project. Like, this man has been so helpful. I remember I'm going back. So I remember there was a project, a conference where I think Army students were coming to, is it University of Ghana? And they were coming to, give a talk. And my supervisor was like, Abigail, please make a poster on your project. let's go and present it over there. I was like, God, I've never done a poster before. He was like, I'll help you. So he gave me a template and then, you know, helped me with the corrections, you know, editing, you know, blah, blah, blah. And finally, when I was ready to go and present, COVID came. And so due to COVID, I couldn't present. In fact, the conference didn't even come on at all. And I put this poster somewhere. So now back to the real story. So when I saw this conference and I was like, okay, let me try and submit this poster. But I spoke to Rockefeller and he was like, come on, do it. I mean, you never know. Just submit it. You just never know. And I was surprised when they asked me to, they selected my poster. So this conference is a conference in New York. It's called Upstate New York Statistical Association, something. Sorry, I've forgotten the full. It's a very long name. So they accepted my poster and I got the opportunity to present at the conference. Now, I finished presenting. Days later, I was there. I was so surprised when these people sent me an email. Congratulations, you have placed third for best poster. I was like, huh? You said what? And of course, it came with some nice dollars. I was really surprised. One, I was surprised that my poster even got selected. Like a whole Abigail, my poster got selected. And then two, for the fact that I was able to present and, you know, there were some people who were new to machine learning and they asked questions, I was answering them. I was like, wow, so today means I'm also helping somebody in machine learning. And three, the fact that you know, it came with a reward. God, it felt so good, trust me. After that day, I was like, you know, let's do more things. Yeah. So yeah, I think this project is, you know, it gave me these achievements, which to this day I'm so proud about it. Yeah.
Cool stuff. Interesting. So we all know there's so much learning to be done. We are learning every day. We are taking courses here and there. Is there a specific strategy or something you do that helps you stay updated with the skills and information that is happening within machine learning and data science? So here, please, do you have any strategies you would want to share with us?
Yes, I think the first thing is the network. You know, like I said at the beginning, this field of machine learning is growing very, very fast. If you want to stay, you know, update, I think you need to have a strong network that allow you to see what people are doing right now. What are the new things that came over? Because sometimes you can be working in a project and then you see that there is something new that came, and then you need to maybe integrate that in your work, especially when you're doing research. For example, right now, many people, they do not need to do a lot of, you know, go through a lot of NLP process. They are just integrating LLM models, the large language model like ChatGPT. And if you really don't know about what is going on, maybe you will have to try to do all this by yourself, but sometimes you don't need to. So I think the first thing is to have a very strong network that, you know, keep you updated about what is going on in the field. And also read, you will need to read a lot, read some papers, read the new models that came out, the work people are doing. So, but I think my favorite is really the network. The network, it can be in, let's say in LinkedIn, Twitter, especially Twitter, where you see a lot of papers, conferences, you know, you can go in and check what people are doing. And this will really help you to keep update about the field.
Right. Thank you. Amina, how do you stay updated with trends and skills happening in the field?
Okay, as she rightly said, network. So basically taking this conference for example, due to this conference, I think based on some of the projects that we are working on with this, it's an opportunity for people who are also working on similar projects to reach out to people to see some of the models and stuff that they are using. And also let's take deep learning, IDABA, for instance. Okay, I was working on a project where I met a lady also working on a similar project. So we started talking and chatting about what I'm working on and then what she's working on. And then she was using a method and I was like, okay, have you checked this? Have you checked that? It has this limitation. What if you do this and do that? She was like, oh, okay. Then she just started Googling this. I was like, okay, you are right. Okay, then why don't we collaborate and then work on that project? I was like, okay, then it's fine. And also collaboration of projects, basically working in teams and stuff will help you upgrade yourself with some of the various models that are coming up. And also, as she also said about NLP, nowadays you don't need to code from scratch or use some models. Now we have this transfer learning that you can basically use just to fine tune what you want and then you just walk away. Thank you.
Interesting. Flovianey, is there any things you've been doing that has helped you stay updated in this field?
Yeah, so what I always do is first networking, as I said, like go on LinkedIn, and also I go also on social media, follow those tech influencers because they always come with some new tips and tricks, and also reading blogs, I mean articles, because I remember whenever I open my Google account, I get some my Gmail, for example, I get a lot of notification from new updates and everything. And also I also into some platform like Cargo, which is let's say a machine learning and data science forum. So where I always go and read few things. There are a lot of challenges there, competitions that are also sometimes just give it a try. Even though it's not for money, but at least try to code something small. So yeah, that's what I do. And also take some online courses. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Abigail, how are you staying updated?
Okay, so I think the previous speakers have spoken on a lot of avenues that I also use. Another one that I would want to delve in deeper will be communities on LinkedIn. So there are these like communities, I mean, so many of them. So but let me try to see if I can remember some. Let's say you see a community that's like machine learning, women in machine learning, this country or that country, or moderated something, like I just follow them. Why do I do that? I've realized that whenever like I'm scrolling through my LinkedIn, okay, I get to like see this community. Somebody would have worked on a project and then come and put it on LinkedIn with a link to the GitHub repo. And there's this like training going on. Somebody has also put that there. So I really find that I learn a lot of things through that also. And then secondly, it would also be conferences. So conferences in the sense that apply to conferences. You may not always get them, but just give it a try. Just the application process alone even exposes you to a lot of things. And you just never know when you'd get accepted into one. And conferences are important because that's where like people come and meet from all over the world, whether it's online or physically. And you get to like hear what people are doing, the things they have done, and you can also like learn something and then go and apply it in your field. Yeah, so I think these two, communities and conferences, that's how I stay updated.
Communities and conferences. Maybe you could share some of those communities with us in the chat so that we would follow them quickly for those of us that are not following
Yes.
you.
Let me go to my LinkedIn right now and go and check what I'll send out.
Thank you. Thank you. Salomey, how do you do it?
Yeah, I read papers, I attend conferences, and yeah, I also try to meet people. So in my department, there are a lot of like world-class AI researchers around. So just try and catch them and just have a brief discussion with them. Yeah, that's what I do.
Interesting. So me, I still have like 20 more questions to ask, But then just so it doesn't look like a one-woman show, if you have any question, if you have any comments you would want the panelists to know, you could just put them in the chat and then I will read them. Whilst we are waiting for the questions, how are you balancing your work life and then your personal life? Abigail, please, how are you doing it?
Well, how am I balancing? Okay, so like Flovianey said, well, I mean, I may not be a party girl, but I really like to relax, and some of the ways I relax are through watching movies, listening to music, and I'm also like a church girl, so church programs like help me to like rewind. And yeah, you know, when there's an opportunity to go out, I definitely go out. And I want to just say that work balance is very, very important. You know, it's not always about work, work, work. Like, you know, the people that you see doing interesting things, they all have something to like that helps them to de-stress, because this field is stressful at times, you know, learning like new things are always coming up. And so you need to like have a very good balance. So this is just an advice to like people on the call. Try to have like a good balance. Look out for something that, you know, helps you to like rewind, relax, and then you go back to what you're doing. So yeah.
Operation 100% work, 100% party. Salomey, how do you rewind? How do you balance?
Yeah, I think for me, having a routine really works in the sense that from Monday to Friday, I go to the workplace, I go to my office. So I work from like Monday to Friday, 8 to 5 p.m. And I've set up myself that's my like productive hours and nothing else gets in the way. So when I come back in the evening, you know, we have a bar. When I say bar, it's not as though like people only drink alcohol, but it's just a place where like you sit down and kind of like relax, chat with friends. So in the evening, I either go to my college bar or I go to the cafeteria, you know, just sit around, or I even go to the library to just pick maybe a novel to read. I also have friends. I visit, you know. So it's just a matter of having a routine that from this time to this time you're working, and then from this time to this time you're having a time off. Yeah. Yes, Abigail, I will carry you to the bar.
Sokhah, please, how do you do it?
Okay, so I used to give myself some timeline, which is like, so I have to go to office every day from Monday to Friday. And weekends for me, it's to rest. So I don't do anything in weekends. I really avoid touching my laptop in weekends. Maybe on Sunday evening to prepare some of my courses, but I really take time to rest on weekends. And also when I came from work at 5, I give myself some timeline. So let's say from 5 to 8, you know, I have to stay with my family, with my people, talk, discuss, you know. And then sometime tonight, if I feel like walking, I can now do some stuff still sometime if I don't go for work until 1 or midnight, and then I go to bed. So I really try to, you know, stop when it's time to stop, and then, you know, work hard when it's time to work hard. I like also sometimes, like I said, in weekends, going out, you know, walking around the beach, because I live around the beach. So I used to go out, walks around the beach, you know, talk to friends. And yeah, this really helped me to, you know, kind of balance between the work and my life, my social life.
Stop when you have to stop and work when you have to work. Flovianey, some people are saying they know what you do, but just tell us again anyways. How do you keep your work-life balance?
Okay, I have this concept of I like saving my energy to do anything. So I go to work like Monday to Friday, work from 9 to 7, or let's say 6 or 8. So when I get home, like I don't take work home. So I just sleep, or if I'm not feeling sleepy, I just play some music and dance in my room and all that. Because you can't kill yourself. So I give 100% when it comes to work. Like I really work hard. And also when it's time to relax, I give the same 100% there. So yeah.
Interesting. Amina, how do you keep your work-life balance?
Okay, so initially I was the bookworm type. I read without resting. So, I can learn. So like my head will be aching, and then I have to put my machine down and then sleep. I think Khadija can attest to that back at school. But I think after I had the opportunity to attend this thing, deep learning in Idaba, I actually learned some few things from I think Sister Deborah and Asida and Co. So I realized that when it comes to fun, at least like they try to chill and then like have fun. And even I think during one of the panel discussion at Google, where I think Salomey was like, sometimes when the codes are not working, she has to shut the machine down and then go in room and then come back. So I really took some things from that. Yes, I really took things from that. So now when I'm tired, I just try like, okay, I do come to work Monday to Friday. So I leave very late, like 10 to 11. So when I get to the hostel, I just put my machine down and then I do rest so that the next morning I have that energy to come back to work. And that's all.
Interesting. Bookworm people. Amina has advised you. So someone is asking about aims, how they could apply or how they should prepare if they are going to apply. So since you've all been with aims, who wants to take this question? Anybody who wants to take a question? She wants tips on how she could apply to aims.
Well,
Okay.
that even reminds me. Actually, me going to Ames was just a miracle. Because she's one of our powerful ladies. I think she's part of the call, Deborah. She gave me the opportunity, and I'm grateful to her for everything. So basically, I think they'll be opening this thing, what's the name? Their forms, the application forms, and then she just have to apply, and then even though it's tedious, just apply, and then I think she can also reach out to some of the big women in the call. They can help and guide there, and then I believe she'll get it. That's all for me.
Okay, so I think the idea is that it's not that simple a process. So you can just reach out to anybody and they would help you. Abigail, you had something to say.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to search. I remember Salome also made a post on aims, like the whole. I'm trying to like find the article, so I'm searching for it. I hope I find it and then I can put that in the chat also. But yeah,
Okay.
just you can go online, type the name of the school. Applications will be opening soon. That's true, Amina. So I think the applications will be opening soon. But it's not difficult to apply. You need to have a bachelor's degree. I think for those of us from let's say the English background, yes, a bachelor's degree, and it needs to be STEM related. Mathematics, computer science, these STEM courses, because when you go there, you'll be doing a lot of mathematics, statistics. So you need to also have the background. Yeah, but I'm also searching for the article. As soon as I find it, I'll put it in the chat.
Okay. Salome says she has an article on it, so anyone could check her LinkedIn profile. Salome, you have something to say?
Yeah, just a quick one. So I also think that it also depends on who recommends you, you know. So I don't know who asked the question. If she could write her university, then maybe we could also find somebody who is affiliated to AIMS from that university. If that person writes a recommendation letter, it's way much like better. Let me put it that way, for lack of a better word. Yeah.
Okay. So there are so many questions. So if you have any particular question you want to ask the panelists, you could find them on LinkedIn and then ask them, right? We would want to do a quick exercise. One thing you've learned today on the call, you can just type it in the chat and then let everybody know what you took from this call. But then to all our panelists, it's been a very good conversation. If you had the opportunity to do data science and machine learning again, how would you do it differently? So maybe advise your 2 years ago self how to navigate machine learning and data science from where you are right now. So who's starting first? Sokhah.
Okay. I think I will not change a lot because but maybe one thing I will add is a lot of self-learning. I think right now there are a lot of resources available that you can go through and learn a lot of things by yourself. Sometimes you don't need to really wait for your lecturer to introduce you to the field of machine learning. You have the opportunity to have communities like the WiMLDS right now talking to you about the field, what you need to know, talking about the opportunities. I think some of us didn't have that chance because myself, till my first master, I didn't do. Someone said that we people from French speaking, we used to do a lot of masters. That's really true. So from my first master, I didn't really know what was machine learning. I didn't have the opportunity to know. But I'm sure some of you are at their maybe first year at university or second year at university, and they already know about this. And this is a very big opportunity for you. Go and learn by yourself. Don't really wait for people to teach you. I heard about a lot of people saying, I started doing machine learning from online, my own online courses. And this is really, really true. Maybe one thing you will need from university is the certificate that shows that you did this master or you did this bachelor in AI or machine learning or data science. But if it came to knowledge, you have a lot of resources available online. So don't really wait, don't hesitate, go and then learn by yourself.
Interesting. Salomey?
Yeah, so wow. I think the advice I would have given to my young self is that don't give up. Don't give up, because at a point I gave up because I wasn't having a laptop. I was having internet issues. Yeah, so I'll tell myself not to give up, but keep pressing on. And yeah, I also give myself the advice that Sokhah just gave to us, that self-learning, invest in yourself. Yeah. So I'm currently taking some courses that I'm paying about like £40 per month for. And I think it is worth it. I'm really happy that I've gotten to a stage in my life where I could really invest in myself. So if you have that resources, just invest in yourself. Thank you.
Thank you. Invest in yourself. Amina, how would you do it? What would you tell your younger self?
Yeah, don't give up as usual. You don't need to give up. And also you can also reach out to people who are into that field for advices and stuff. I still reach out to people, especially Deborah. I reach out to her almost every day for advice on what I want. I want to do this, I want to do that. What do you think? Then she'll give me 2 options. Then you now have to sit and then select the best one. So don't give out and don't give up. Self-learning, and then reach out to people. You always get best advice. Thank you.
Thank you. Flovianey, how would you do it? What would you tell your younger self?
Okay, that's what I always tell myself whenever I'm about to start something, like to learn something new, is that I tell myself that if there are people out there who mastered mastered what you're about to learn, that means you can do it, because they don't have 10 heads or 10 brains. So you are all the same, you can do it. And also don't give up, because nothing is easy at all. So, and also reach out like for people. When you need help, you have to, because you can't do everything like by yourself. So you have to ask for help when needed. And also keep connecting and be open-minded. Like always be open when it comes to learning opportunity. Don't block yourself, because there's another thing. When you are in front of something new, you tell yourself, oh, it's too difficult, I can't do it. And I mean, as soon as you say that, your brain, it kind of, that's how my brain works. That it stops. It doesn't go far. It doesn't think far. You just block yourself there. Like, I can't do it. So always open your mind. Like, I want to learn it. I want to learn it. I want to learn it. It won't be easy, but I just want to learn it. Just go for it. So yeah, that's
Right.
what.
Okay. And finishing off, Abigail, how would you advise your younger self if you had to do this again?
Okay. So I really don't think I would change the beginning of my journey, because I don't think I would have had it any other way. I don't know. I mean, I don't know, but I'm grateful for how I started. But yeah, the advice I would give to myself is identify, like, your path. Machine learning is very broad. Machine learning, data science, it's very, very broad. And at times it can be overwhelming. And especially when like you try to like do so many things at the same time. I mean, if you can do it, why not? But if you can't, just don't, because it can get overwhelming when you're trying to like do this, that, focus here. No, I wouldn't really advise that. And also the learning a lot, like taking online courses. For example, Coursera has like courses, and you can apply for funding, right? It takes like 2 weeks, and you definitely almost always get the funding. And that's how I also like grew. I learned a lot through Coursera also. And then the portfolio that I was talking about, I'm sure somebody will be wondering, what is a portfolio? A portfolio is just keeping track of the projects that you have worked on over your learning. You can like save your work on GitHub. There are also like some websites that allow you to build like very nice portfolios, like a graphical user interface one, the one that looks nice. You can also like just search about it. And why is it important to have a portfolio? When you apply for jobs, I remember when I was working before I went to Army, I was part of an interview panel. And one of the things my boss kept asking people, where's your portfolio? Do you have something to show? And, some had, some didn't have. It helps us to see what you have worked on. And, it also like increases our confidence in what you are saying. So it's always good to have it. And also another thing is that, it serves as a backup for you. So let's say there's this project that has come up, then you remember, okay, I worked on something on NLP. Let me just go and look at what I did and then try and, fine tune it to this current one. And then lastly, don't give up. I think my previous speakers have spoken on that. And I also want to say, don't give up. It's not easy. I mean, there are days you would cry. There are days you feel like, I'm done. When you feel like that, cry. I cry a lot myself, cry very much. When you finish the crying, the tears are finished. You go back to it. Yes. And have people to talk to. On days you feel like giving up, just, talk to people and also find something funny that, will make your life funny also, so that you can laugh. And then after you laugh, you go back to what you are working on. And again, I remember during my final year, I was moving from people's one laptop to another. When I say one laptop, somebody's laptop, okay, I can give it to you for a week. So I'll use it to work. Then the next week, I find somebody's laptop till I got my own laptop. So the journey is not easy, but take it easy. Don't overstress yourself too much and just enjoy it. Yeah, there's nothing new under the sun. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I've enjoyed this session. I've learned so much. I kept a lot of notes. You can text me, I'll give you my notes. But yes, thank you So women in machine learning data science for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, the panelists, because this conversation was very, very fruitful. I'm handing over to Khadija because we've already exhausted our time, but I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Wow, thank you to all the panelists and to Joana for the nice moderation. Like, my notebook is full. I was taking like a lot of notes. Like, you guys are just like super amazing. And I don't even know where to begin from, but I'm sure the crime membership group, we now have an admin and all the secretaries that are involved in this. So the lesson here is to just cry, but make sure when you're done crying, you come back with a lot more energy and then you continue working from there. So most of the things I took away was that it takes a lot of learning in this field. So you need to constantly learn. You need to understand the foundation. So from what I understood, you don't really need to have a master's or a PhD to be in this field, but it actually depends on what you are doing. So you need to learn the foundations, you need to think out of the box. And there's also so many applications of machine learning, not just in healthcare alone, but in several other factors as well. So you can always just think about it. And also, when we were talking about AIMS, I wanted to clarify that AIMS has the Masters in Machine Intelligence and the Masters in Mathematical Sciences. So if you want to go to the Masters in Mathematical Sciences, you need to apply to that. That doesn't mean that you are actually in the Machine Intelligence course. So if you need any guidance to apply to AIMS or anything, you can reach out to any of the co-organizers of the Women in Machine Learning, because most of us have been through AIMS and AMI, so we can actually provide you with any insights that you might need to know. So at this point, I'll move on to our partner in this event. So we had a partner from the Women in Technology Engineering, GIMPA, and she'll be talking a little bit about their organization. Afterwards, we'd have a group photo and then we'd end the call. So please stay tuned. So if Felicia is here, I think you can talk about WITE now. Thanks.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for being part of this meeting. Getting to know the things that are being done in machine learning for everyone, and I think it's interesting. Thank you so much. I would like to talk about WITE. So the Women in Technology and Engineering is an initiative of the School of Technology in GIMPA. It's become necessary because there are a lot of people you speak to and they have no idea that GIMPA does anything in IT, but then we are also an institution with an IT department, okay? So we also do IT, we do computer science, we do applied mathematics, like data science, machine learning at the master's level. We have the MIS, and then the data forensics, we do security. Because we have a master's in machine learning and data science, called the applied mathematics for now, we realized most of our students at the undergraduate level have little knowledge about what data science is and how they can work in it. And it became necessary when we have our project presentations and much of the work is not in data science, machine learning, AI. And so WITE took up this initiative. WITE as an initiative is to introduce our students and also secondary school students to women in IT and engineering who have been successful, at least move who can inspire you and guide you, who can mentor you in these fields. And so we went through one of those and know that as a in all, it has been an initiative of the Technology Institute from GIMPA, and this I think is a very good step, which can inspire our students and anyone who listens to build up a career. So thank you, and this is about WITE. Thank you.
Wow, so I didn't even know that there was an institution in Ghana that's actually started a master's in machine learning, which is very interesting. So for those of us in Ghana who want to start in this journey, maybe we can look at that much more. So yeah, we are almost at the end of this call, but before we go, I don't know why my computer is misbehaving now. Yeah, before we go, I would like to just draw attention to how you can join Women in Machine Learning if you aren't already a part of us. So we have several social media channels that you can check out. You can just scan the QR code or like just search our name on these channels. So this first one is a link to our Telegram. The next is our meetup page where we have the monthly events that we usually do. So once you join our meetup, you would always like receive notifications about events that we have, and you can always participate. You can also follow us on Twitter, where we just always post whatever we are doing. So you can also register through Twitter. And finally, you can join us on LinkedIn and also just like our LinkedIn page. So for Twitter, we are at WiMLDS Accra. Once you type WiMLDS_Accra, you would see our page. And on LinkedIn, we have the full name, Women in Machine Learning and Data Science Accra. So now is the time that I have been waiting for. It's time to take a group photo. So if you are here and you can turn on your camera, please just turn it on. Let's have a group photo because we all enjoy the session. So I'm looking forward to seeing a lot more people, and we can do this very quickly and then end. And also, if you really enjoyed this session, can I receive a thumbs up when we are doing the group photo so that it makes it more beautiful? I'm waiting for a few more people to join. Yeah, I see more people turning on their video. Let's keep it going. Okay, so I'm about to take the photo now. Okay, more people are joining. And I want everyone to strike their best pose for this picture because this is one of the legendary pictures we are taking this year. So everyone can strike on their best pose, and then on 3, we would actually just start. So, okay, more people are joining. So we'll take this picture 3 times to make sure that new people are not left out. So best pose, thumbs up. 1, 2, 3. Yes. Yes, I just took 3 pictures now, and we'll share that on our social media. So if you are not looking to be part of it, please let me know so that we don't get canceled out there. So I'm taking the last picture, and afterwards we can end the call. So best pose and then thumbs up. Yes. Oh, thank you very much. We are really very happy that all of you guys decided to stay from the beginning to the end and you actually enjoyed the session. We are hoping that there's something that you took out. Like I told you before, my notebook is filled, so I took away a lot of things from this meeting, and we are looking forward to seeing you in other meetings as well. So thanks to the panelists, thanks to the moderator, and thanks to everyone here. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.